Welcome back everyone. So in today's video I'll be showing you how to create connections from AWS Glue to AWS Redshift Serverless cluster. Okay, so let's get to it. Alright, so like I mentioned in today's video we will be going through the process of creating connections from AWS Glue to AWS Redshift Serverless cluster. Okay, so if this is something that you've been struggling with, then definitely do watch this video because I'll be showing you how to resolve this issue. It took me almost like 2 hours trying to connect Glue to Redshift, and I don't know if this is something that recently changed because previously I was able to connect from AWS Glue to Redshift without an issue, but it seems like recently AWS might have introduced some additional layers and now it's no longer very easy to connect from Glue to Redshift. And if you go to the documentations on AWS environment, it's not very straightforward on how to connect Glue to Redshift anymore. Okay, but I found the solution for this. So in this video, I will be showing you how to go about connecting Glue to Redshift serverless environment. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing that we need to do is go to Glue. So if you go to Glue, I do have Glue open here, but if you don't see it, just go to the search bar here and search for Glue and just open it, AWS Glue, and open it. And so what we want to do is we want to go to connection section right here. And as you can see, I do have connection currently ready. I'm going to delete this because this is the one I was testing with, and I'm going to delete this. Okay, so when you create connections from Glue to Redshift, you do require to have an IAM role. So what we want to do actually before we start the connection right here is to create an IAM role that we'll be using to connect to Redshift environment. Okay, so I'm going to go back right here and we will go to IAM, and what we want to do is create a role. So just go to roles right here and we want to create a role, and I'm just going to select Glue here because that's one of the services I'll be using, but we'll be adding more. So I'll create this, and right here on permissions, so these are the permissions that I used in order to connect to Redshift successfully. So the first one is Redshift. Definitely we want to use Redshift. So in my case I chose Redshift full access, and then we also want to connect to S3, so S3 full access as well. So I'm going to choose S3 full access right here. And the other one that I was able to use is Glue. So definitely we need Glue, and there are two roles in Glue that we want to choose. This one for service role and the other one for console, this one here, AWS console full access. And then the other one that we want to choose here also is secret manager. We want to also select this one for secret manager read write. We want to use that one because we want when AWS usually when we created our AWS environment, we had to create username and password, but Glue would like also to access secret manager so that it can store the credentials there. So you want secret manager access as well. And then the other one here is for key management. So AWS key management, service power user. This is the one that we want to select here as well. And then I think that should be probably it. So let's go ahead and hit next for this now. And I'm going to name this one AWS service role, and I will name this S3 Redshift role. Okay, and we will go ahead and click create for this. Okay, so this is going to create as this role, and let's see if there's anything else that we need to put here. So we have Redshift full access, we have S3, we have Glue, and we have service role for this one. Okay, so I think this should be good. We'll go ahead and test with this. If we need additional one, we'll come and add. Okay, and if you go to trust relationship, currently I do only have Glue, and I think this one should be good enough. So this is our role now. Redshift service role S3 sorry, AWS service role S3 Redshift role. Okay, this is the role, and so we have the role ready. And then the other thing that we need to do before we move ahead with our connection is the endpoints. Okay, so we need endpoints created from VPC. So if you go back to your VPC, actually before we go to VPC, let me show you my Redshift because that's useful in this next step here. So this is my Redshift serverless dashboard, and if you go to your workspace or work group, which is right here, I do have the VPC. This is the VPC, and also this is the VPC security group. So the thing that we need to do with VPC is if you go here directly, you can just go to VPC from here, or you can just go to VPC. I only have one VPC right now. If you have several VPCs, then that's okay with you. But I have now I'm right on here on my VPC, and what we need to do is we want to create endpoints. Okay, so go to endpoints right here, and the endpoints that we want to create, endpoints to these services. Okay, we want to create one for KMS, we want to create one for secret manager, we want to create one for S3, and we want to create one for Redshift as well. Okay, so I don't know if I mentioned Redshift, but I will just show you the services that we need to create one. So the first one here is we want to create S3 endpoint right here, endpoint. And the endpoint that we want to create here, of course, is S3. So just type S3 here. S3 is where? S3 right here, okay? So I mean EOS is, so the second one here is the one I want to choose. And we want to choose gateway for this and select the VPC. And so gateway requires you to have a route table. So I do have a route table right here. And if I go to this route table, I created this route table, and inside this route table I do have these two routes currently. Okay, so I have one for local and another one for internet gateway. So internet gateway by default, as you can see, this one is showing us 00 as the destination, and that is the internet the target right there. Okay, so you can edit this one and you'll see it. This is how it is. So you can create yours like this. So you can remove this, but basically when you go here, you will just see this port. This is the address, and put you can create an internet gateway name and just associate it for the target here, and just go ahead and save that. Okay, so that is the route table for that. So we want to associate the S3 gateway to the route table, and we will go ahead and give this full access and just go ahead and create it. Okay, so the S3 endpoint has been created, and then now the other endpoint that we need to create is for Redshift. So I'm just going to call Redshift endpoint here, and so the service here that we need to create for is Redshift, and this one is for me in US East. So this one will be an interface. The type here will be interface, so we'll just leave that as interface. You want to select the VPC here, and down here, this is important. Okay, so we want to select all of the subnets here, and we will specify the subnets here. So you go there, just select the subnet here for each one of these, like this. All right, and the reason for this is if you come to your serverless, your Redshift serverless environment, you'll see that we have 6 subnets associated with the environment. So you want to do the same thing when you create your endpoint right here. Okay, so we will now do that, and so right here in the security group, I do have the security group that I have associated to my Redshift. You want to select that. So this is this one right here, and you can also do the same thing here. This is the security group, and if you go to it, I have named it Redshift Sandbox security group. Okay, so that is the security group that now you want to associate right here, this one here. Okay, and we want to give this one full access, and I think that's it. So just go ahead and hit create for this, and this will create our Redshift endpoint. Okay, so I'm just going to rename this Redshift endpoint. Okay, and the other one that we want to create is for a secret manager. Okay, because secret manager is also one of the services that Redshift will be using, so we will create Redshift endpoint for secret manager, and we will we'll look for here for secret manager right here, secret manager, and we only have one here, and the type here is interface, so we go ahead and create that VPC, and we also want to associate it to all the subnets. Okay, so I'm just going to choose all the subnets right here, like so. And when we come to security group, of course you want to select the security group that is associated with your Redshift serverless account, and we go ahead and also create the endpoint right here. And the other endpoint that we want to create here is for KMS, key management service. So I will create the endpoint here for KMS, and we want to also look for KMS here, which is this one right here, and we will type here we'll look for, okay, that's a VPC, and we do the same thing with the rest of this. Okay, we just want to select all the subnets like so, and of course we want to associate it with the security group, and we go ahead and create here. Okay, and the last thing here is STS. Okay, so this one is STS endpoint. We want to create one for that service as well. It's going to be very useful when you create your connection. Okay, and we also go to STS here. It is this last one right here. Okay, so AWS STS is an interface, and we want to go through the same process. We just want to associate it to all the subnets right here. Okay, like so, and select the security group as well that is associated with Redshift, and then we'll go ahead and create our endpoint right there. Okay, so we have these endpoints now created. Again, these are the endpoints that I believe worked for me, and we'll go ahead and test with this, and if we face any issues, then we'll see what we can modify. Okay, so these are the endpoints now. They will take a second or two to create. Okay, while this one is creating, we'll come back to this. So what you want to do now is we have our endpoints created, and we have our IAM role created. One thing that I want to show you is the security group for AWS Redshift Serverless. If you come here to the security group, you will see, just navigate to the security group, right? And what we want to do is we check the inbound rules. Okay, this is very important. So the inbound rules that I have here is one for one that is accepting traffic from my local machine, and this one can be just, you know, as long as it's accept, you know, the Redshift pod is open, you can either let the source be open 000, or you know, whitelist a number of IP addresses. In my case, I just put my machine as the source for the traffic so that I am able to connect from my local machine to Redshift. And then the other one, which I found also to be very important, is this one. What you want to do, this one is this one, the type is all TCP, and the port for this one is this one, all the, I think this is all ports, really all ports open, and you want to self-reference it to your Redshift security ID, which is right here. Okay, so to create that, if you just go to here, just copy this, and then go to the inbound rules and then edit it. Just go to, I'll just show you, right? I'll delete this, and we'll go ahead and just say we want to do all TCP, which is going to open all the ports, and right here custom is fine. We want to copy and paste the security ID for our Redshift. Okay, so this is self-reference security group rule, and this one is going to be very useful when you are connecting. Okay, so you definitely need to do that in order for your connections to work. Okay, so once you have done that, let's go back to where I set up for our endpoints. right here. So let's refresh this. Okay, so we have all of our endpoints now available right here, and they are all created. So now let's go ahead now and create our connection. So to do that, just go back to Glue now and go to connections, and what we want to do is we want to create connection to Redshift. So go here, and you want to go to Redshift, the service that we want to create connections to. Click next, and right here I have my sandbox serverless environment created. Again, if you don't have the Redshift serverless created, I made a video. Actually, I did two videos where I went through the process of creating Redshift serverless. One I made a while back, and then the other one I recently made it because I found that some of there were some changes in the environment, and I just made an updated video for Redshift serverless. So whichever one you watch, I think it should be able to work for you. But yeah, so right here, if you have your Redshift environment created, it will automatically show here. And as you can see, this one is serverless. So just select it. And the database name, you want to leave here the database name that you've created in your Redshift serverless environment. So for my case, I'll leave it as dev. So this is a default database that comes or that's created when you create your serverless environment. You can use this, or you can create another database within your Redshift data warehouse, and then just specify here. So for example, if you go to our Redshift serverless account now, I will show you that we have two databases. So you can see that we have, I'm just going to expand here, and I have three databases now. So I have demo and dev. So you can use each one. I created this. I just, I ran this command, create database demo, and it created this demo database. This one came with the environment when we created. So this is the dev one. So you can use, this one demo or any other database that you create. I'm just going to go with the dev one in this case. Okay, so and then what you want to do here then is enter the name for the username. In this case, it's admin, and the password is the one that you created when you're creating the account. Okay, so or if you created another username after you created your serverless environment, then you can put the password here. Okay, so this is the password that you use to log into your Redshift. And right here, you now want to select the role, which is the IAM role that we created, and that is the one that is showing right here. Okay, so after that, you will then create next, hit next, and you can change the name here. I'm going to leave it as Redshift connection, but you can change it if you like, and just hit next. And this is a summary. Okay, so this is a summary of your connections, and just go ahead and hit create. Okay, so this one now is going to create your connection, and this might take some time. You see VPC provisioning in progress. It may take several minutes to complete. So I found that this might take like 2 to 5 minutes, give and take. So just let it run, and I will let it run, and when it's complete, we'll come back with whether the status is successful or not. Okay, so I will let it run. Okay, so looks like our connection now is ready, and you'll see the status here says connection is ready for you to use. And usually this is good sign that your Redshift connection might be working fine. Okay, so if there's an issue, you will probably see an error, yes, with some other error, and it will tell you, and you can go and fix it. But for us, it seems like we have configured our environment correctly. We have our IAM role working fine, and we have our endpoints correctly set up. That's why we are able to see this. Now from here, all you have to do is just go to your connections now, and we want to test the connection. Okay, so that is one of the ways that you know if your connection is really working, because creating the connection is one thing, but you have to test really if the connection is working fine. But that is just one good sign that things might be working well. So now to test if Redshift connection is successful, and that means that Glue is able to connect to Redshift, you come here, select the connection, and go to actions here and test connection. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the connection, as you can see, is successful, and this is status here, successfully connected to the data store with connection Redshift connection. Okay, so this means that we are now able to successfully connect to Redshift. And now if you had some tables in Redshift, then you can go ahead and create your crawler and point it to your Redshift connection. Okay, or if you had data in S3 and you want to write to Redshift, then you can go ahead and use this connection as well for that purpose. Okay, so again, just a quick recap. The first thing that you need to do is to create the IAM role and put the right permissions to it. Okay, so in our case, we created our IAM role here, and these are the permissions that we attached. So we attached Redshift full access, uh, the S3 full access, Glue console full access. We did put the Glue, and this one is the service power, the AWS key management service power user, and the secret manager. I found that all of this, like, I think you need all of this in order to be able to connect. If you don't, then you'll run into some other issues. And actually in the next video I will show you some of the issues and some of the common errors that you will see when you don't have all of this configured correctly. Okay, so this is the IAM role that you want to create. And then the other thing that of course you want to do is the VPC. So you want to go to your VPC, and this is a VPC that is also connected to your Redshift, and you go and create these endpoints. Okay, and when you create the endpoints, they must be associated with the subnets, all of the subnets that are in Redshift, and also the security group that is running, that is connected to your Redshift, which is this one in my case. Okay, so if you do this correctly, and I will say just follow this, and most likely you will be able to connect successfully to Redshift. Okay guys, so that is the process of creating connections from AWS Glue to AWS Redshift Serverless, and I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please give thumbs up to the video and do subscribe to the channel to stay updated. Alright guys, that's all I had for you in this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.